Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechBot Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. For those that are not familiar with what this is our Sunday stock talk. This is when we come together as a team and I break down the top stocks that you see valid. All I ask you is to make sure that whatever stock you share for me to break down for you, that you've done your own due diligence on and you post it in the ticker call out format. I want to remind you that if you tune into one of these live streams and you do not post it in the ticker call out format, I simply will not break it down for you. You might be asking why. Is it because I'm mean? Is it because I'm evil? No, because I want to make sure that I'm not someone that suggests something and you have no opinion on. I think that we can both agree that one of the best things about networking and sharing ideas is when you already have an idea of what it is that you're already getting yourself into. I don't want to share something or say something and that ultimately to influence you on whether you decide to buy or sell. At the very end of the day, you should be the sole decision maker on what you choose to trade. So with that in mind, I encourage you to make sure that you dedicate time to have a full understanding of your trade plan, right? If you're going in for a day trade, if you're going in for a swing trade, your entry, your exit, your stop loss, managing that risk, and your overall, reason behind that trade. Please do me the biggest favor, and all I ask you for yourself, for yourself, not for me, not for anyone else, but for yourself, that you do your own due diligence. So I want to make sure that we kickstart this week. For those that are not familiar with, how the stock market works or when it's open, it's not open over the weekend. It's only Monday through Friday, and today's Sunday. So we come together every single Sunday at 6:30 p.m. and I simply break down minimum of top 10 stocks that whoever tunes on in, and I simply just share my ideas. At the very end of the day, I want you guys to know that I'm just sharing my opinion. You should never take a trade based off of my opinion, but I hope that's something that I cover today. And overall, my series of best practices and thought process is something that you can at least cherry pick and hopefully it positively impacts you in a good way. So let's go ahead and get started. All I want to, what's going on, guys? So first of all, I want to apologize for being late. I know I was like 3 or 4 minutes late. I want to blame Weston Moore. He's the mentor within Flippin' Wheels. We went to the gym today and we hit legs, believe it or not, right? I actually did legs today and they feel like noodles. So I was a little weary about going live right away just because I felt a little sick. But so I do apologize for that. I really hope that throughout the next 30 minutes as I break down these series of stocks, I really hope that I earn your thumbs up. And if I don't, then feel free to message me within the TechBot Solutions Discord chat what I can do better for you to earn your thumbs up on our next video. So, all right, sounds good, Justin. Let's be nice though. All right, guys. So welcome everyone, right? I want to see before we get started, just so you guys can see, before we get started, where are you all tuning in from? So I see Chris is from Rhode Island, right? So I'm in Arizona. Weston is originally from Arkansas. Where are you guys all tuning in from? We got Darwin in LA. We got Recklessness in Maryland. I like that. Hawaii, New Orleans. There we go. Oh, here we go. Australia, baby. California, Canada, Chicago, Florida, Utah, Alaska, Houston, Gilbert, Arizona, woo woo, Pittsburgh, Arkansas, Miami, Seattle, Italy. Wow, holy, Maryland, Arkansas, Tampa, Texas, Nashville, Vancouver. We got people all over the place. India, Fresno, Mexico. Hey, I think this is the beautiful part about being the largest, right, group and YouTube channel, right, for those who trade in the stock market. We're the largest YouTube channel, and we're the largest private Facebook group, and of course, it's all for free for those who trade in the stock market. So I really do appreciate just your guys' time alone. I know Sunday is a very special time, especially that you can spend time with your families. So hopefully you were able to utilize the extra time that you guys had this weekend, if you did, to kind of get a little ahead, right? So with that being said, right, so without further ado, let's go ahead, and I'm here to, service you guys. So let's go ahead and break down the top stocks that you guys see valid. Every stock that I break down, I'm going to be putting on the left-hand side of my screen and kind of go from there. So please make sure that you just post it in the ticker call-out format, and that's all I really ask. If you guys are going to be asking what the ticker call-out format is, we have Ismail, right, tuning in and posting the ticker call-out format for you. Oh, we can't be saying those are foul language. Can't be saying that. All right, here we go. Your backyard, AAL. We're going to start off with this, okay? So AAL, here we go. Okay, so I want this to be kind of like engaging, right? So out of this specific, so this is American Airlines, right? We've talked about this before. What's going on? What's going on? What was it? Alec, what's up? What's up? We've talked about this. 3 stages of a reversal, right? Is the Discord free? Of course. The only thing that I charge for when it comes down to trading is for the time that I spend, right, with the Learn Plan Profit group. I trade live every single morning, and that's the group that I exclusively work with every single day. So other than that, TechBuds Discord, YouTube, that's all for free. So all the links are down in the description if you want to check it out. So what do you guys think about this? Again, 3 stages of a reversal. What stage is this in? What's going on, Kevin? What's up? What's up? So what stage would you see AAL in? One of the first things that I want to point out is if you guys tuned in to my first video today, right? I talked about what to know before you take your next swing trade. And one of the indicators, right? One of the indicators that I pointed out that I personally use for direction, and again, this is me, this is my opinion, right? Is the SMA line. The SMA line, I find it to be an extremely effective and useful indicator, right? Just to use as a reference to understand which way something is heading. And I think that we can agree that although it's kind of just consolidating, right? The overall pattern for American Airlines, multi-billion-dollar airline company, the SMA line is still slowly descending. If you see every time that it peaks out, it's continuously making these lower highs. I just want you to be aware of that, right? Now, it did aggressively sell off, and then it stopped to sell off, right? It no longer is aggressively selling off. It found somewhat of a support is what it looks like. That's what it looks like right now. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI, potential pullback. But one of the things that I want to see based off of previous patterns is for this to repeat itself, where it sold off, it consolidated, and then it confirmed an uptrend, and then it continued to rally, right? So that's exactly what I want to see with AAL. If it were to find a support here, I think that it doesn't matter what indicator I pay attention to. It doesn't matter, what I can refer with the MACD and the RSI. What's most important, and again, this is my opinion, what's most important for me is the price action, the direction, the way that something is heading. And right now, let's keep it super simple. Is AAL showing signs of growth? Is it increasing in price? No, I think that we did a good job, or, our friend did a good job identifying AAL when it's a little bit more on the oversold side. I think that we can all agree that we are deal hunters. We are here to find the best deals. So this is American Airlines, and based on the past 180 days, I agree that this is viewed as somewhat of a good deal. Now, this is what it all comes down to, your entry point. It doesn't mean that you have to go all in, but once we get confirmation, and if and only if we get confirmation of higher highs, then it would make sense on why I would then begin to slowly invest more money into American Airlines, right? Because if it does continue to uptrend, then based off of previous patterns, it will most likely get rejected around $32 to $34, right? I can calculate if the marginal profit is worth it. I can see if the overall direction is in my favor, and I can see if it is actually following previous patterns where it finds a support and then reverses up, where it finds a support and then reverses up, where it finds a support and potentially reverses up. But one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that patterns tend to repeat themselves. They do not have to. So just as much as it could go up, anything can happen, especially with current market conditions. So let's not just always think about all the positives, but if anything, again, 95% of people are not successful in the market. And it's the very simple things that I think people overlook. So just as much as so many people are focused on how much money they can make, I would encourage you. My biggest area of opportunity when I first got started, and even still now from time to time, is managing risk. So if you become a true professional in anything, in any area within the market, be a true professional in managing your risk. That's all I want you. That's all I want to leave you with. So don't just think about how much it could go up. Don't think about that it's bound to pull back. Manage that risk. Let your actions speak louder than your words. If you want to grow your account, then you can only grow your account is if you keep your losses small. You can always get back in, and yes, it sucks when you sometimes get in too early, but be patient, be selective. Don't be afraid to manage that risk, because again, if you cut losses quick and it continues to sell off, then again, you build yourself a potential larger margin for recovery. So just think about it, big picture. So I'm really happy that we started it out with AAL. I think that, this one, I find it to be attractive. So I'm super happy that we're able to bring this one up. I really do appreciate you bringing this one up. So here we go. DIS. This is Disney. Disney has been brought up 3 weeks in a row. What do you guys all think about DIS? Disney. All right, so what do we see with DIS, right? It was showing signs of an uptrend. One thing that I want to point out, right? It's been showing signs of an uptrend. What recently happened that has not happened in a while? Been watching you for a little bit over a month now. Can't wait to join Learn, Plan, Profit. Thanks for everything. Appreciate you, Matt. Happy to have you as part of the team. No rush. Whenever you're ready, we're here to have you. Here we go. So what has recently changed with Disney that hasn't normally happened? The SMA line, right? The SMA line, based off of previous patterns, acted as a support, right? Here, overall, for the past 3-4 months, it's been uptrending. Even back, it did fall a little bit below the SMA line, but then ultimately continued, right? So even for the past 6-7 months, it's been doing a very good job holding above the SMA line. And what did we talk about in today's swing trading video? Again, this is why I would encourage you to watch that video if you haven't already. It's the one that I uploaded right before this, and it comes with a free swing trade checklist. It broke below the SMA line, and sometimes, not always, but when we see a break below the SMA line, which used to act as a support, can then now act as a resistance. So this could be a very simple and early indication of a potential change of direction. So if we see this thing push up and then get rejected by the SMA line, then what we're seeing is going to be something very similar to Tesla. When we saw the SMA line for Tesla showing and acting as a resistance. This is a perfect example where, Tesla would try to push up, then get rejected. It would try to push up, get rejected. It would try to push up, get rejected. It would push up, get rejected. It would try to push up, get rejected. Do you guys get the point? But then ultimately it changes direction. So the same thing is happening right now with Disney, where it was acting as a support, but now it doesn't have to continue to uptrend. And if anything, for the past, it did make higher highs, but not really, not super aggressively. And this is Disney, multi-billion-dollar company, right? So you want to make sure that their direction is in your favor. You want to make sure it's clear, and you want to make sure that the margin of profit is worth it. If it doesn't meet every single one of your criterias, then just understand that the risk is that much greater. It's going to make you feel less comfortable with that trade. And it's as simple as that. The less comfortable you feel, and I think that we can both agree, the less comfortable you feel by holding that position, because I think a lot of you that would consider going into Disney is not going to be for a day trade, because again, it doesn't move very, very much, but it would be for a potential swing trade. So is the direction clear for you, right? Does it meet all your criteria? And is the margin of profit worth it? If it doesn't meet all your criteria, then again, it's as simple as not taking the position to potentially put yourself in a bad place, right? One of the other things that I also want to point out that I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to bring up is that it's been making lower highs, right? Lower lows and lower highs. So every time that it pushes up, it gets rejected. Every time that it tries to push up, gets rejected. Every time that it pushes up, gets rejected. So yeah, it did break above the EMA line, but look at the RSI and look at the MACD. It already looks overextended. So just as much as it could go up, it could go down, especially with current market conditions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert, and if the overall direction, if this thing continues to push up, then great. You calculate if the margin of profit is worth it, and if you see that it's showing signs of recovery, if you see that it's showing signs of higher highs and higher lows and the overall reversal is happening, then great. Take action, take initiative, and manage that risk. But if you see that it then begins to get rejected, the MACD begins to curl down, and so does the RSI, and if that begins to follow and the SMA line begins to act as a resistance, keep it simple. You can use all these different indicators as references, but no indicator should ever be used as where you should enter and where you should exit. That's where I think a lot of people make mistakes, because when overall fundamentals take over, technicals, like we've seen before, aren't the most useful, right? And that's one of the things that I do point out within the swing trading ebook, that again, that's that first link down below. It's free. We don't even ask you for any information, so feel free to check it out. Richard Carr, PAG. I know I'm taking a little bit longer on these breakdowns, but I just want to make sure that I hope that you guys are okay with me going a little bit more into detail about what I think, my thought process, what I'm thinking about these stocks that you guys are, spending a lot of time calling out. So can I get your guys' input, right? So stop, if you guys could stop sharing your tickers right now. Can I get your input on PAG? This is Penske Automotive Group, huge company. What do you think, or what do you see with PAG? Let's keep it super simple. 3 stages of a reversal. Where is this at? I like that. D Savage being a savage today. Where are we at? So 3 stages of a reversal. Where is this at? No sign of a reversal. We got consolidation. So what's the purpose of this Sunday stock talk? It's to talk about the top stocks that are uptrending that we see value in this week. And let me ask you this, and I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus. I know why someone called out PAG. It makes sense because it looks like it's at a potential support. Trust me, the MACD looks good, the RSI looks decent, right? But if I were to give you, if you were to earn, not give you, we're not here to be given anything. If you were to work for 10 years and you earned $100,000 in a savings account and you look at PAG, would this be the one, again, if you were to only be able to choose one stock to potentially day trade or invest in, right, then swing trade, would this be where you would put your money in right now? Right now, based off of your call out, is this the one that you would invest in? And if it's not, why? What's one thing that is not super clear? I think that we can all agree that this is oversold, right? That based off of previous patterns, it's more at the support than it is at a resistance. I think that we can agree on that. It almost offers, I like that, YYMM. I don't want to say it's crap, right? It's not crap at all, but it's at a support. But what is one thing that we are missing right now? Not showing signs of higher highs and no clear confirmation of a reversal. So I'm really happy that you brought this one up because I do agree with you. Based off of previous patterns, this is a little bit more on the oversold side, so a potential support, than it is on a resistance side. I think you're spot on with that. And it's a quality company, right? Now, what's one thing that we can do that a majority of people don't, right? I think, again, we've said it before, Warren Buffett said it best, where the stock market is the transfer of funds from the inpatient to the patient. So we can simply do what? I like that. Set your alerts and wait, right? We can simply, okay, I think you did a great job of setting yourself for success of finding a good deal. Just because it's a good deal does not mean it's a good buy. Let's rephrase that. Just because something is a good deal and oversold does not mean it's a good buy until we have clear understanding of its direction and the reversal. So do you see how when it reversed here, that it took time for it to push up, pull back, and then change its overall direction? That's what I want to give this time for. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't have to. So again, if you earned $100,000 and that was 10 years of hard work, sacrifice, right? And blood, sweat, and tears, is this what you would put your money in right now? Possibly not. Why? Because we don't have confirmation. But if this thing was beginning to show signs of an uptrend, if the margin of profit was worth it, and there was a pattern in which that made sense to you, you would feel that much more comfortable putting that money and investing it in PAG. But all we have to do then is, if you set yourself for success, is to simply wait for that confirmation. And just as much as it could go up, it can go down. And again, think about it. The more patient you are, and let's say this thing does sell off, think about how amazing it's going to feel that you didn't put yourself in a bad position. How many times? And I know a lot of our traders, a lot of our newer traders can agree with this. Not only just agree with this, but probably maybe think that it's just them. But for all those that are a little bit more experienced, can we all say, just to empower our newer traders, how many times have we made the mistake of getting in before confirmation because we think that we're buying the dip on something and it continues to sell off? Can I get like a yes, I've done that? Because I've done that. I've done that so many times. I'm not a perfect trader. I don't think anyone tuning in is a perfect trader, right? So FOMO is hard, right? And when you see a potential dip buy opportunity and all these people just talking about buying it, it almost like motivates you to take the position. But again, it's not about following the masses, but it's having a reason for every action that you take. And even if you're a complete beginner, trust me, we're right there with you when it's the very simple things that people overlook. Don't be so quick to enter a position. I think that we can all agree that patience goes a long way. It's about taking a position when the action is happening, not to try to get at the lowest price point and trying to sell it at the highest price point. It's all about being an efficient and effective trader. Get in and get out when it makes sense, not just because, we're short on time. At least that's not my style. And just because it's not mine doesn't mean that it can't be yours. I'm just here to share my experience. So Abraham Torres, what is going on? So we got APPS. Here we go. APPS. What do you guys think about this one? So this one's going to be a pretty quick breakdown. I mean, I like the overall direction. Let's say two very attractive things. I know that, you guys are going to point something out right away, right? I know you guys are going to point something out right away with this, but yep, not oversold, it's overbought, right? What's one very attractive thing about APPS? I'm not here to just point out about, what do we not find attractive about it, but what's one thing that we can all say that, wow, this is something about this is very attractive. Good pattern. It's very consistent, right? How happy would you guys be? So I know a lot of I don't use the Robinhood application, but how happy would you be if you look back a year on your Robinhood little chart thing and you look back a year and it looks like this, right? How happy would you be if it looks like just consistent growth? Of course, it's not just a straight line, but just consistent growth. Isn't that something that we're aiming for? It's a very consistent uptrend. I think that consistency can build confidence when we enter a position. Yes, I like the pattern. I like how the SMA line, right, acts as a support. Very clear pattern with that. But one of the things that I want to point out is that, just like you guys are all saying, it's not a good deal. It literally just made newer highs or higher highs, the highest price point that it's been on the past 180 days. And at the very end of the day, this thing can continue to shoot up. Anything can happen. We're in a market where anything can happen, but we're not here to hope for the best. We're here to set ourselves up for success based off of our understanding. And all I'm here to remind you is that I'm a deal hunter, right? When it comes down to trading, when it comes down to investing, when it comes down to the properties that I buy, when it comes down to the cars that I buy and resell, all I focus on is getting a good deal. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how much money you have to throw, right? But at the end of the day, we are here to find good deals, right? And at 647, based off of previous patterns, forget about all the charts, forget about all the indicators, right? The MACD obviously showing signs that it's overextended. The RSI showing signs of it being overbought. Great. Doesn't even matter about that. Just looking at the price and looking at based off previous patterns, are you getting a good deal? No. So what can we do? Set alerts. When it becomes a little bit more on the oversold side and it approaches this SMA line, as it tends to bounce here, doesn't have to, but it tends to bounce here. And when and if it does, approaches this general area, then we can wait for it to sell off, consolidate, and then begin to reverse up and make higher highs. We can then calculate what the margin of profit is, see if we find it attractive, and if we do, we can slowly add more to our position size when and if it makes sense. And then we sell when it becomes overbought, overextended, and we lock in profits and call it a day, and then let it play out again, right? It's, again, the very simple things. Set yourself up for success. What does a perfect trade setup look like for you? Write that down. So I'm sharing all these swing trade ebooks, day trading ebooks, on all these checklists. Again, that means nothing. That means nothing if you don't build your own eye for value. I'm here to share what I focus on. At the end of the day, you're not me and I'm not you. We all see, I love Raising Cane's and I could eat that literally every single day. But I can promise you, a lot of you guys cannot eat that every single day and enjoy it. Why? Because we're all different people. The same thing when it comes down to trading. We all see value in different ways. We all just have a different eye for value. And with that simple idea, you should cherry pick what you find attractive about me, not about me, but about my trading strategy, and what you find attractive about other people, right? We run the largest TechBlitz group, and there's so many amazing people on YouTube that you can cherry pick from of what you like about their trading or investing style. You should never, if someone tells you that they have a 100% guaranteed strategy that works for everyone, guys, I think the reason that, like, you know, the stock market is so difficult for people is because it takes a lot of problem solving. So be a problem solver and be someone that takes action. If someone promises you something, especially in such a lucrative market, I just think that should set off a red flag. That's simple, right? Be empowered to be challenged every single day. At least that's something that I personally really enjoy. So I'm going to set my alerts. As you guys can see, I'm setting my alerts for both higher highs when the breaks below the EMA line and as we approach the SMA line. I'm also going to set if it actually breaks below the SMA line. And I actually really find this one to be very attractive. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So here we go. We got John Mattis. Thank you again for tuning in. AEPT. I do want to remind you guys, and I know that this is me asking a lot from you, but if you guys are enjoying these live these Sunday stock talks, if you guys can do me the biggest favor, only if I earned it, I would really appreciate the thumbs up. If you guys could subscribe, great, but it really helps out the video, letting me know that you guys like this. So the thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so AEPT. One of the first things that I want to point out is that this is a penny stock. It would not be something that I would trade, and I can see that, you know, based off of just the volume bars, right? And when it has huge pushes, seeing that the volume is there, probably being manipulated, this would not ever be something that I would trade. Yeah, there's not any volume, especially me trading with $100,000. I'm just going to keep it super simple, and I would 100% just avoid that. I do want to remind you, Joseph, if you could do me the biggest favor, you can post that even 1,000 times, and I won't break it down for you because it's not in the ticker call out format. Just a reminder, I'm here to assist you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So if I don't see that you've done your own due diligence, I won't break it down for you. And if that's not okay with you, I do apologize, but I'm here to remind you that it takes work. You know, I can't just do that stuff for you when you're not even able to help out yourself, right? So just post it in the ticker call out format for me, and I'd be more than happy to break it down for you. Here we got D Webs, PBR, here we go. All right. Here we go. So based off of previous patterns, again, being able to look at overall low points, high points, it looks like it's already gone through its earnings, right? So I'm just going to make sure my trend line tool is all set up, just so I have straight lines. One of the things that I want to point out is that a lot of people, right? A lot of people sometimes don't find these specific patterns too attractive. You know, if you really like to focus on ascending uptrend patterns, then stick to that. Ignore these patterns, avoid them, right? If you struggle to identify low points, high points, low points, and high points, ignore these. Don't trade them. Only trade what you feel comfortable with. Some people work very well with horizontal patterns. And one of the things that I want to point out is that, yeah, it is a little bit more on the oversold side based off of previous supports, but just because it's above the EMA line, it's been above the EMA line before, and then it continues to get rejected. So be empowered to wait for higher highs, and that's just not something that we've seen just yet. Look at the MACD and look at the RSI. I'm just going to set a series of alerts, and I think confirmation is key, especially on something that's been selling off for almost about a month. So I think patience can go a long way when trading PBR. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Let's see. Alrighty. Ticker symbol, what's going on, winner number one? Ticker symbol SOXL. Here we go. Alright, I'm just gonna do you a favor, Chris, and yeah. It literally, like, just, it's so mind-boggling how people, like, are not able to do their own due diligence and still ask for help. You get what I mean? Really, I don't want to say sad to see. It's just like, you know, if you can't help yourself, how do you expect anyone to be able to assist you? That's the thing. It's just like, I think actions speak much louder than words, and yeah. So, all right, so SOXL, One of the things that I want to point out is the MACD and the RSI. Again, we're approaching this SMA line. What used to act as a support can now be viewed as acting as a potential resistance. It has broken below the SMA line, and then it does continue to rally. I would say that there's a big inconsistency with what's going on right now. Just because the patterns kind of have been, I mean, it was uptrending, it then sold off, and now it's kind of almost offering this kind of like horizontal pattern. So if you don't see there to be a true pattern or true direction, don't even stress about it. Like, I would not trade this right now. Even if it does break above the SMA line, it's just kind of all over the place for me that it just isn't consistent enough. But I would say that, if we do end up making higher highs, it has been showing signs of it based off of previous patterns of it being able to consistently uptrend. So that's maybe something that we can expect, right? So it hit the SMA line, it pulled back. It might be trying to find a support around this general, EMA line before it actually continues to uptrend. So that's one of the things that I would wait out for. So I set my alert there to see if it actually breaks above the SMA line or if it actually begins to make lower lows. I'll set my alert here just so I'm also alerted, and it will most likely follow with the descending MACD and the descending RSI. So here we go. What is the software that you are using and how can I download it? Cody, it is the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It's the platform that I use. It's one that you can use if you're within the United States. You don't have to use it. They do charge commissions. You could negotiate your commissions. If you search up the TD Ameritrade or TOS, right? I have the #1 video on YouTube that explains to you how to set it up and all that fun stuff. So feel free to check it out. But again, just know that it's not your only option. What is going on? So PAYS, this one has also been asked to be broken down so many times, right? We're getting a lot of consolidation, so I'm not going to spend too much time with this just because it's been consolidating for pretty much the past, what is that, 18 days. As you can see, it had an aggressive sell-off. It's been kind of consolidating, and the direction is not super clear, at least not to me, and that's why I will not trade it. So I have all my alerts set up here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert here to see if it actually begins to descend. The reason that I think it can potentially descend is because of this. Look at that descending MACD and that descending RSI based off of previous patterns. It's just the price action is just not following the direction that we want it to. But if it does, then I'll set my alert here, and then we can follow up with it. I think, again, patience and direction is super, super important. Just subbed to the crash course. Very excited. Appreciate you. Thank you. I also do want to remind you guys, I don't know if it's like the second link in the description. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback for our crash course. It's literally $7, and it's for absolute beginners. So if you're just getting started, it's literally just to educate you on the very basic understanding of the stock market and what it has to offer and what to look for. If you don't feel like you got $7 worth of value, it's over 1 hour of information. So if you don't even think that you got $7 worth of value, direct message me on Discord. You're going to get access to our private Discord chat, and I'll, refund you the $7. It's that simple. So it's $7. It's just for absolute beginners. So if you're part of Learn Plan Profit already, please don't sign up for the crash course because you won't learn anything new. Ricky, do you ever do options trading? It's just not my thing. I've never traded options, not something I do. So, but yeah, I appreciate you asking that question. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We got knee smelly. Here we go. Ticker symbol DAN. Here we go. Okay, can I get your guys' input on this one? What do you guys think about, there we go, DAN. Can I get your guys' feedback on DAN? What do you guys think about this? If we were to say or talk about the 3 stages of a reversal, right? Is this in the rejection, consolidation, or confirmation stage? I think that we can all agree that this thing is oversold, right? So it's still descending. I think that we can all agree that it's oversold, right? What's going on, Nicholas? It broke its support. It broke its support based off previous patterns. The SMA line is selling off, right? It's still descending. So again, if you were to put an arrow at the end of the EMA line, which direction is it going? It's still trending down. Is this what you want your Robinhood account to look like, your TD Ameritrade account to look like, if it were to be charted based off of growth, right? Not me, right? So what can we do? What's one little simple thing that we can wait for? Just like it's done before, it consolidates, and then ultimately, if and only if it changes direction, then we will begin to see higher highs and higher lows, and we will see the pattern break above the EMA line. So I'm super happy that you brought this to my attention because I do agree that it looks like a good deal based off of previous price points. Again, just keeping it like right now it's at $13.94, and just a couple weeks ago it was at $20. Great. I can see the margin of potential recovery, the percentage, to be worth it. But what don't we have? Confirmation. I wouldn't say that. I need to hide that because I use foul language. But yeah, the MACD is about to cross, but that doesn't mean anything. Again, there's a divergence, right? There's potential for divergence where it can try to push up and then continues to get rejected, and we see that multiple times. Indicators, and this is in my experience and my opinion, and I'm here to repeat that again, indicators are to be used as a reference, never to actually take a position off of that sole indicator. There is no true direction that's showing signs of growth. If anything, this thing is still selling off. So it doesn't have to consolidate, but normally it does. And I would like to wait for higher highs and higher lows, for the overall direction to begin to change, for the EMA line to begin to point up. That's what I would like to look for and wait for. So I set my alerts up here, and I'm going to set, I like the potential margin of profit for recovery that it has to offer. I think that we can all agree that it's all very attractive. Patience goes a long way. So if you're so certain, right, I'm testing you and I'm challenging you. If you're so certain that this thing is going to reverse up, and if you're just eager to take a position, just remind yourself, what if you would have taken a position here at $15? How much would you be down? Almost 10%. Patience goes a long way. And if you're so certain that it's bound to recover, then do yourself a favor and just wait. Wait for it to prove it to you that it's recovering. Be efficient, be effective, and take part when the action is happening, not just when you think. Your opinion, just like mine, is irrelevant to the overall market. We need to allow the patterns, right, to do the talking. We need that price action to follow what we expect to happen. And until it proves it to us, then and only then it actually makes sense, at least in my eyes. And that's just what I'm here to share. So here we go. Carlos, Lulu. We got Carlos, who has expensive taste. Lulu, right? It's Lululemons or whatever. Lululemon. Lululemons. That just shows how Hispanic I am. I had some Takis today. How many of you guys like Takis? Or Takis, or whatever, how it is that you guys want to pronounce it. Had the nitro Takis. Ooh, those were good. Definitely put some lemon on those for all my Hispanic people out there. Chase. Oh, even Chase. We got all sorts of hot Cheetos are better. I like that. Yeah, I'm feeling a little sick after eating those. So now I have to have this little protein shake after the gym, and my legs still feeling like noodles. But all right, Lulu, right? What's one thing that we can point out about Lulu that we can find attractive? What's one thing about Lulu right now that we could find attractive, right? What about the pattern? I think that we can all agree that it's a pretty consistent ascending uptrend pattern. I find that to be attractive. That's simple, right? It's an uptrend pattern. Cool. It meets one of my criteria. It meets one of my criteria. If it doesn't meet yours, then that's fine, right? It was showing signs of an uptrend. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI, it came overbought, and now it's beginning to pull back. So one of two things. It's either going to bounce off the EMA line and continue to make higher highs, or it's going to actually continue to get rejected and ultimately change its direction and begin to make lower lows. So what's one thing that we can do? Again, very simple, patience. So the MACD and the RSI, right now it's telling us that this thing is selling off. So we need to wait for this thing to either consolidate for a long enough period of time to then continue to rally where it actually makes sense to get in when the action is happening. Margin of profit based off previous patterns is about 4 to 5%. If you find that attractive, great. For me, that's not enough. That's not enough for a swing trade that, I mean, if anything, out of everything that we've broken down and worth, the time to wait for, it would have been the one that we just previously broke down that, just made a little bit more sense to me. That was a little bit more attractive for me. I can definitely see why someone would find this to be attractive as it's a little bit more conservative. But as of right now, I mean, I would still have to wait for the confirmation for this thing to break above $187. And based off of previous patterns, around $192. That's about a 2 to 3% margin of profit. And to me, that's just kind of not worth it. And that's okay. I'm okay with saying that because I have certain criteria that every stock has to meet, every swing trade has to meet. And if it doesn't meet my criteria, then I'm here to share that. But just because it doesn't meet my criteria does not mean that it can't meet yours. Again, we all have different eyes for value. So I just wanted to share mine. Here we go. We got Max with IPL. Here we go. IPL. Whoa. Was that LPL? Let's see. Well, that's a strong descending pattern, so I hope it's not that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So, all right, John. So here we go. All right, I like this one. You guys are doing such a good job with these ascending uptrend patterns. I think that we can all agree on that, right? Volume might look a little low on this. Yeah, volume is too low for me, so I just want to point that out, so I wouldn't be trading this. But I can see the ascending uptrend pattern. It just recently made higher highs, and it's kind of in that consolidation phase, right? Rejection, consolidation, where it's not really making lower lows. The MACD, the RSI, all that looks fine. Now we just need to wait for confirmation, right? And what does that look for? Look at previous patterns. How and what does it do? It consolidates, and then it begins to change its overall direction and begins to recover. That's exactly what we want to wait for. Does that mean that you have to go all in the very beginning? No, it means that you can slowly ease into your position, and then when it becomes overbought, overextended based off of any indicator or based off of previous patterns that you previously saw where you think that you can lock in profits, then again, at the very end of the day, we are here to consistently stay green and to lock in profits at any indication of a resistance, regardless of what anyone says. I'd much rather be green 1% than be red because of greed. So that's what I want to leave you guys with. Let's go ahead and break down two more, and then we can kind of go from there. So I hope that you guys are having fun. Again, quick little reminder, if I can earn your thumbs up, it really helps me out. Here we go. All right. So how much volume was too low, Ricky? So Jeff, I just did a very quick analysis where I can see that there's fluctuation of volume, and normally I tend to see that with stocks that have less volume, and any form of like news or catalyst can really create this fluctuation. And then I quickly went to the 1 day 1 minute chart, and then when I see these kind of like candles where they're broken, right, and they're kind of like the crosses or just the dashes themselves, then I can see already that there's low volume. So normally I like to see very consistent and healthy candles, and I just didn't see that very quickly with just looking at ROAD on the 1 day 1 minute chart. So here we go. So NRE. Alrighty. NRE, a lot of consolidation. This would not be something that I would trade. No clear understanding of its direction. So because of that, again, direction is super important for me. So do you get charged commission each time that you average up? Of course, Rob. So if I were to take a trade on NRE and I were to click a buy, you can see that I get charged $3 per trade. So I can buy, and that's 333, right? And then when I sell, that's an additional 3, but I usually just combine all my buys, right? So if I have 1,000 shares after I bought 333 shares each time, then I'll sell the 1,000 at one time. So, you know, that's pretty much how I approach it. I also do want to remind you that you can get free commission for like 60 days or something like that with TD Ameritrade. And I think it's promo code 220 when you fund your account more than $2 or $3 or $4 or $5,000. I'm sorry, I haven't done that in a while. So feel free to call them up. And I know that you can get free commissions, especially if you're new to TD Ameritrade. So kind of, you know, just want to remind you on that. Sasha, how have you been, Ricky? Just trying to live life and have fun, trying to be half as great as you, Sasha. So just trying to keep up with you. So are you margin trading? Do you use leverage? Nope. So I do have a margin account, right? So I have that instant feature where I can buy and sell with my $100,000 and I get access to it right away. But I do not use leverage. I'm a true believer that you should not have to borrow money to trade, right? Especially if your track record is not there, right? If you're not even growing your account, why use borrowed money? So Alejandro, I'm just gonna ask you one more time, and if you continue to spam the chat, same with you, Rice, with that ticker, I will simply just hide your comment. Again, if you're not gonna post your ticker in the ticker call out format, I will not break it down for you. That's simple. So, alrighty. What's going on, Mr. Ramirez? How you doing? All right, I want to see if there's any more breakdowns that I can do for you guys. TGNA, thank you, Greg, for posting in the ticker symbol format. Holy moly! Whoa, did I not get it right? Great. Where you at? TGNA. A little dyslexic today. Here we go. All right. Alrighty, here we go. So overall, TGNA was showing signs of an uptrend. It peaked out, right, began to consolidate, and overall is now trading below the overall SMA line. So if anything, it's making lower lows and lower highs. Again, I'm not a fan of that direction. I don't want to try to find or predict the bottom of something as something is selling off. It's just not my thing, especially just with these specific type of stocks. It looks like it's in the very early stage of something that's overbought. Look at previous patterns, it's a little bit more on the overbought side based off the full 180-day chart, and it has a lot of margin to potentially give back, and it doesn't look like it's showing any signs of potential support or anything like that. So because of that, again, is that really the best stock that you can trade this week? That simple. So NVDA, appreciate you, Bashir. Thank you for dedicating time to do yourself the favor, right, and have done your own due diligence. So NVDA, so it has an up and coming earnings, right, earnings report on 8/15. So huge heads up on that. I don't find there to be a very consistent pattern right now. So it was showing signs of an uptrend. It then began to sell off, found a support based off previous patterns, pushed up, became more of a bot, began to sell off, and then right now it's kind of just beginning to consolidate. So I don't know if it's gonna begin to reverse back up or begin to sell off the overall SMA line, just like it used to act as a support, can then act as a resistance. It might just need more time with the earnings coming up pretty soon. It's just too close. Not enough time for it to identify its true direction with a huge catalyst that can either drive the price up or down. So because of that, I would have to say I'm out, dog. Just not something that I would personally see valued. So here you go. We got Ksen Yuan. I'm sorry. HTZ. Appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. Here we go. HTZ. Very consistent descending pattern, overall SMA line acting as a resistance instead of a support. So it's actually a descending pattern. And yeah, I do agree that it can potentially find a support here and push up. But again, at the very end of the day, make sure that you set yourself up for success. Out of every stock, even that we broke down today, is this really, and I'm just talking about the ones that we've broke down today, is this really the one that you find to be the best deal with the most clear direction and that meets all your criteria? So if you were to earn $100,000, is this what you would put it in? There's no confirmation, no clear direction, and it's a descending pattern. At least for me, it doesn't meet my criteria. Even just with the stocks that we've broken down today, yet alone everything in your watch list. So please do yourself a favor and just set yourself up for success. If you see value in it, then great. Make sure you manage your risk, set up a trade plan, and kind of go from there. But Xavier, you got YETI. YETI. Here we go. All right, let's end it with a good one. I like this one. This one's not that bad, right? Here we go. So YETI, based off of previous highs, it just made previous highs, right? So it was showing signs of an uptrend. It broke its pattern and then began to recover, pulled back. It's at the SMA line. Are we going to make higher highs or continue to descend? Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, it's showing signs of potential continuous sellout, rejection. So with that, I'm going to set my alert here and see if it begins to make lower lows. So again, confirmation is key, and we need the overall price action to determine the direction. Is this thing going to continue to make lower lows? We don't know. If this thing is going to continue to make higher highs, we don't know. So what do we have to do? Simply give it more time. I like the margin for potential recovery that it has to offer, and I'm sure that's something and the reason why you find this to be so attractive. But at the very end of the day, it doesn't actually have to recover based off of previous patterns, and the amount of margin and price that it has to give back is quite a bit, even based off of recent patterns. So just again, make sure that you set yourself up for success and that there's a super clear direction of what it is that you plan on trading. So I'm gonna pretty much leave it at that. One of the simple little reminders that I want to have for you is, well, first of all, for all those that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit, I do want to let you guys know that I'm going to be catching a flight to California tomorrow. I'm just going to be there for a couple of hours, but I'm going to be working with there's like these influencers that I'm pretty much going to be buying a house with in the Los Angeles, kind of like West Hollywood area. I wanted an area in the California area, as I'm originally from California, that me and the TechBuds team can kind of like have a place to stay. So we're going to be looking at a couple different properties, and if you guys follow me on Instagram and on Snapchat, I'm going to be posting updates on that. But I do want to let you know, so Graham, no, it's not going to be Graham, it's influencers that are more just based off of like entertainment. It's kind of just a different niche, and to kind of like build relationships with them and stuff like that. So overall, I just, wanted a place to stay out there. We've been visiting very often, and I think it would be great for networking opportunities, as these influencers have over 1 million followers. A lot of them are verified and stuff like that. So it would present a great opportunity for us. I'm really looking forward to that, investment. So altogether, I'm going to be flying to California tomorrow, and I'm going to be flying at 6 in the morning, meaning that I have to be at the airport at 4. So I do not plan on going live tomorrow, but I will be in the trade idea section. So just wanted to let you guys know about that, just to make sure that I set that expectation. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to go live at market open tomorrow just because of that. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that as soon as I land, I'll be posting updates in the trade idea section, and I'm going to be trading off of my phone if I do end up taking a position tomorrow. But it's going to be a pretty busy day. I have I think 3 or 4 meetings as I visit California, and I just wanted to let you guys know on that. I also do want to let you guys know that today is the official end date, and actually the start, right? Tomorrow is the start date for the Flipping Wheels 30-day challenge. So I think it's like the 3rd or 4th link in the description. A huge shout out to Caleb and Weston. They just picked up a Jeep that's worth about $14,000 or $15,000. They picked it up for $12,500. Weston is selling his truck tomorrow. He picked it up for $9,000 and is selling it for like $11,500, so $1,000 or $2,000 profit there, and it's been pretty cool, right, with the Flipping Wheels team. So I just want to let you guys know, I think that there's one spot available for that 30-day challenge. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, then click that 3rd or 4th link in the description, and feel free to message Weston if you're part of the Flipping Wheels or Learn Plan Profit, if you're part of TechBud Solutions or the Learn Plan Profit group. So again, I really hope that I earned your thumbs up in this video. All the links are down below, and I really do appreciate you guys' time. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this Sunday Stock Talk. So I'm looking forward to coming visiting you at the LPP headquarters. Update us. Of course, Federico, really do appreciate you. We're still looking for locations for our TechBuds HQ, and we're working to establish our TechBuds dealership at. So a lot of fun things to come, and I really hope that we can just continue slowly but surely make progress every day. And again, I think that we can both agree that small progress every single day can lead to huge results. So there's going to, next week, right, this upcoming week, when it comes down to content on YouTube, there's going to be a lot of real estate focused content, because the investment property that I have in Scottsdale is being finished up, right? And then I'm going to be investing and funding another loan for Lenny. So that's going to be my 8th investment property. And then I'm going to be checking that other property in California. So I'm trying to stay proactive. I'm trying to stay active with all the different markets that we're investing in, but also be efficient. So I wish you guys all an amazing trading week. Let's just have a very simple reminder that at the very end of the day, it's your actions, right, that can set yourself up for success. So feel comfortable, build experience, build confidence when it comes down to your trade position. And if you do not feel comfortable taking that trade, then do yourself a favor and just step away from it. It's better to not take a position and break even rather than put yourself in a bad position and get discouraged. And I think that we can all agree on that. So hopefully this can pump you up for this upcoming week, this trade week that we have. Every single day is a new, every single day we are challenged and we are put, to the plate where there's new opportunity, and we can kind of go from there. So your sister's hot. That's really immature to say. Yeah. I know. Our family is very attractive, so it runs in our blood, right? I really do appreciate you guys' time. Thank you guys again for absolutely everything it is that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.